Hey guys, welcome to Vlog Reviews, a series where I'm going to review shows, one episode at a time, via a vlog format with no script. I've seen a few YouTubers do this, as my friend Big Jack Films. I know Doug Walker has done stuff like this, aka Nostalgia Critic. And I did try to do this at one point on my old channel, Studio 95, where I was going to watch every episode of Codename Kid Next Door. And I stopped after a few episodes just because life got busy and stuff like that. But I want to try to do this again. This time I'm going to do it with a show called Ed, and Eddy. And if you're a Cartoon Network fan, you're going to definitely know what Ed, and Eddy is. Especially if you were a Cartoon Network fan in, like, the late 90s to, like, the late 2000s. The show apparently ran for, like, 10 years. It's crazy. My familiarity with the show is I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I have never really sat down and have seen it, like whole episodes. Mainly because we never aired it much here in Canada, from what I remember. Surprisingly, because it's a Canadian-made show, you figured they would be airing the crap out of it, but from what I remember, they really didn't air it all that much. From what I've been told as well, it's because he only aired the first season here, really, and then they aired everything else mostly in the States, which is kind of odd to me, but that might be why I didn't watch a whole lot of it. But the reason why I'm going to be covering Ed, and Eddy is because I put out a poll using our community tab on the channel, which is something I got access to recently, have been using fairly often. It's actually been something I've been wanting access to for a while. And randomly one day YouTube said, hey, you have it now. And I was like, fucking sweet. And so I created a poll in there asking people, I want to do vlog reviews, but what should I do? I give a few ideas, and I also put like an other option on the poll just for like, if you guys have something else that I didn't list that you want to put on there. And you guys voted for Ed, and Eddy, which is awesome because, again, I mentioned before, I don't really know much about the show, but I do want to watch the whole thing. So, let's get started. Episode 1. Now, how this is going to work, actually, I should probably give you guys a quick rundown, is every episode is obviously I'm going to be reviewing both the A episode and B episode, because Ed, and Eddy is similar to SpongeBob SquarePants, where there's 2 episodes in one, 2 like 11-minute episodes. So per episode you're going to get that. Now there's also 4 specials. How I'm going to do the specials, I think, is 3 of them, from what I can see, are holiday specials. So, and it's going to kind of be my benefit, because it's going to go in the orders as, you know, the holidays are coming. That made more sense in my head than I did out loud, but you'll understand what I mean in a minute. So, like, there's a Christmas special, I'm going to review that next month. There's a Valentine's special, I'm going to review that in February. And then there is a Halloween special, I believe, or something like that. I believe Halloween. And if I'm still doing this by Halloween, which I think I'm going to be, I'm going to do it then. And then there's a 4th special, I don't know when I'm going to do that exactly. I'm probably going to do that at the end of all these vlog reviews. And then Ed, and Eddy ends with a movie. And that is like the final of the show. But what I'm going to do with that, instead of doing a vlog review like this, I'm going to do a full-fledged regular review that you guys see with my cartoon character and stuff. So that'll come out whenever the hell I get through all of these. So, let's get started. Okay, so episode 1A is called The Ed-touchables. And one thing I'm going to say it does really well right off the bat is it establishes the characters beautifully. Right off the bat you have Ed, aka Double D, who we get introduced to first. And he's, right off the bat you see he's like a germaphobe, but also very, very intelligent. And also he has OCD clearly, because the first thing you see is he's putting labels on literally everything. Like this figure would say action figure, and he'd have a label on that. My computer monitor, he'd have a label on that. He puts like labels on his bed, his magnifying glass, which I'll talk about a little more in a second because that does have a bit to do with the plot of this episode. But then we're also introduced to Eddy, who is like the leader of the group. He also comes up with like schemes to make money to get jawbreakers, which from what I've told, that is a very big part of this show. They come up with lots of schemes to make money to get jawbreakers, and they do it basically by scamming the neighborhood, or the cul-de-sac I believe it's called. They scam the kids and stuff, and they end up just buying jawbreakers. It's like a big part of the show from what I've heard, so I guess I'll see if I'm right as we go on. But what ends up happening is that and sorry, also there's Ed. Forgot to mention Ed. He's like the dumb one, and I kind of fucking love him. He talks like this, I'm Ed! That might have come off really offensive, I'm sorry. But that's basically how he talks, and the way he runs is fucking hilarious. It's like, almost like a very weird Naruto run, but instead of being like forward like this, his back is like way arched back and he's running like this. It's fucking hilarious. But anyway, so the plot of that episode is that Double D notices that his magnifying glass is missing. They go to see Ed, the tall guy, and they find out that Ed's sister, Sarah, who seems like a completely psychotic bitch right off the bat, her dolls are missing. So now Eddy, the scheming one, he decides he wants to try to find everybody's items. And he ends up scheming the town as well, somehow. I'll get to that in a minute. But so he tries to find out who is stealing the items by luring them into a trap. The trap being Ed, the tall, dumb guy. They put a do not touch sign. And the person that ends up touching him is, I believe his name is John? He's, or something like that. Johnny, maybe? Yeah, I think Johnny. He's the guy with plank, the wooden plank. So they end up kind of capturing him, and this is actually kind of an interesting part of the episode too. They have him head up to a lie detector test, but because they're kids, it's not like a traditional lie detector test. It's actually like they have like wires and stuff hooked up to them, but the wires are hooked up to a toaster, and it's like if he lies, like the toast burns or whatever, and if he tells the truth, the toast perfectly, sort of thing. Interesting. I gotta say that's creative. You know, because they are kids. It sort of reminded me of, like, what they do in, like, Kids Next Door, sort of. Where Kids Next Door, all their, like, their weaponry and stuff like that, it's made with just everyday items. So I thought that was really, really cool. And so they interrogate Johnny with this, and he admits that he did it, but he only admitted that he did it because he really needed the pee. And then we cut outside, they have a jar of money. I guess everyone in the cul-de-sac paid Eddy to find their items, I guess. They don't really explain that. I found that kind of odd. But they do take the money, they go get Jawbreakers, but we then find out that Sarah finds her dolls under her bed, and somehow Double D finds his magnifying glass randomly. And basically that's where the episode ends. Not much else that happens after that. They get their Jawbreakers, and that's about it. So that's the very first episode, and the main good thing about it, I'll say right away, like I said before, is that it establishes the characters. The main characters. 1B is kind of interesting too, because it does establish another set of characters who I really don't like. Basically, this episode starts out with Double D. He has, like, jars of, and I can't remember the fucking episode name on top of my head, so sorry for that. I'll put it right on screen right now so you guys see it. But he has, like, these, like, jars of bugs that he's, like, labeling and stuff like that, because, you know, that's how Double D is. And he's with Ed and Eddy. And they decide to go into the forest, I think, to, like, capture more bugs or something like that. And Ed, again, the big, tall, dumb one, he gets stuck in, like, a spider web, and you hear, like, it's like, Ed and someone sitting in a tree, Kissing.
Sitting in a tree,
Then Double D and Eddy get stuck in, like, this gunk stuff trying to rescue Ed, and then it just cuts to a trailer where we're introduced to the Kanker sisters. And right off the bat, I fucking hate these characters. I don't know if that's a popular thing that people think in this show or not. But right off the bat, I do not like these girls whatsoever. They're fucking psychotic. They kidnapped these guys, and then they took off their clothes. I'm not fucking joking you. They stripped these guys down naked and put them in their dad's bathrobes. It's fucking bizarre, honestly. But anyway, so they wake up, and they seem nice. You can tell they all have crushes on these guys, and I think that's kind of a big part of the show, too, is from what I've been told, is these girls have crushes on these guys, and they chase them around a lot, and do lots of psychotic things and stuff like that. But specifically here, you're introduced to the Kanker sisters. They say all their names, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. And they end up cooking them food. It's the nastiest looking food I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like moldy sloppy joes. That's the best way I can describe it. And they end up eating the food, but I guess they make a mess and shit and, like, chew with their mouth open. So these girls go from, like, being in love with them to wanting to basically fucking kill them. They turn razor psychotic. They end up telling them to clean the dishes, clean the floor, and, like, barking fucking orders at these guys. It's insanity. And for some fucking reason, these guys do it. I don't know why they don't just run the hell out the door, but they end up trying to clean. And finally, Eddy basically stands up for everybody, and the girls start crying. Basically, it's like, that's a fucking enough. Stop crying. You know, it's stupid. But eventually, they run out the door and run away. Because these girls just get downright psychotic. Oh, the way it ends is really fucked up, actually. Because the reason why they finally run away is because these girls made these voodoo dolls that are supposed to be their children. I'm not even joking. They call it like Ed Jr., Eddy, Double D Jr., and Eddy Jr., or whatever. yeah. So they finally say, like, yeah, that's enough, let's get out of here. And basically, that's where that episode ends. Again, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it has been on screen at some point in this video, so there's that. But I will say that these episodes were a good way to establish the characters. I haven't seen anything too mind-blowing yet. One thing I will say is, if you're looking for a show with good animation, do not watch this one. You can definitely tell it's a pretty low budget for animation. But, you know, I still think there's enough of a story here that I'm probably going to end up enjoying it. But I gotta go and watch more episodes in order to find that out. So that is, guys, where we're going to end the very first episode of Ed and Eddy Vlogs. So if you liked it and want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and like this video. And comment down below if you want me to talk about anything else, or what you think of this show or this episode or whatever. And if you want to be like our super patron Ryan Smith, then hit the link in the description below to check out our Patreon. There's $1 or more to get you awesome perks such as early screenings and shoutouts in our videos. And with that, guys, we will see you later. Take it easy.